and welcome to Colonial News Now with me, Becca, and my co-host, Stephanie.
Last week, we talked about the events that led to the American Revolution.
Today, we will be talking about the strengths and weaknesses of the British and Continental armies.
Later, we will have an interview with two surprise guests.
And after that, we'll be having a military fashion do's and don'ts segment.
And now we'll break for...
You looking for great deals on shoes? Because we've got them at Colonial Shoes. Come and get some boots for the upcoming winter or some shoes for just going around town.
Buy our shoes!
First thing we'll be discussing today is the British. The British have one of the most powerful armies in the world. They have hired over 30,000 mercenaries and are very well trained.
That is true, but they have a hard time gaining support in England. Citizens have very little reason to support the war. Also, they do not have very good leadership, with their generals switching constantly. Slow communication across the ocean is also an issue.
The Continental Army has a lot of issues. They have many shortages in gunpowder, guns, and uniforms. They also have short enlistments.
And that's it for right now. Let's cut to commercial.
Are you tired of riding bareback? Is your horse's back uncomfortable?
My butt always hurts on my horse's hard back.
Well then, do we have a product for you? Introducing the new padded saddle. With its many cushions, you can be free to ride comfortably.
Whoa! My horse is really excited about this saddle, and act now you can get a green one.
So, visit your local market to get a new padded saddle.
And we're back. Today we have been discussing the two sides of this war, strengths and weaknesses.
We have talked about how the British has been having strengths with their supplies and training. Yet, they have been having weaknesses with their poor leadership qualities.
Also, we talked about the Continental Army's weaknesses with their shortages of many of their supplies. And now we're talking about their strengths, which include their great leadership from George Washington. I would say he is one of the greatest strengths for the Continental Army. Also, our soldiers fighting for freedom and not just money is another good strength. And whenever we're defending our homeland, we have a lot more passion and power. And we've come through a lot of tough times.
Oh, and now after Saratoga, the French are aiding us with supplies and soldiers.
Yeah, that's right. Both sides have their strengths and weaknesses, but I think that the Continental Army is going to win.
I also agree. I think George Washington will lead them for a victory.
And now to Hannah with an interview.
Hello. Today we will be interviewing two very important people in our nation. Please give a warm welcome to Benjamin Franklin and George Washington. Welcome to Colonial News Now.
Thank you for having us. I'm glad I can share my opinions on the war.
All right. The first question I have is, which side do you think has the best advantage generally-wise?
I think the Americans have the best general because George Washington has so much more experience.
Thank you. I agree with you, Benjamin. And the British also have a disadvantage with their generals because they keep changing them up.
Which side do you guys think has the biggest strength in the war?
I think the British do because of their numbers.
Well, I disagree. I think the Americans do because we are defending our homeland and fighting for freedom.
That's a very good point. And Benjamin, you said that the British does have a lot of soldiers, but the Continental doesn't have so many. How do you think that will affect the war?
I think that will affect the war because I think that will give the British an advantage and help them win.
Well, hopefully this will improve the next year and we can soldiers fighting.
Alright, the last question I have for you guys is, which side do you think in the end will win the war?
I think that the British will win. By spending my time in France, I've seen how the British have been training, and I think that they will win.
I think America will win for all of our willpower and our reasons to fight.
Alrighty, well I think that's it for today. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having us.
My pleasure.
Alright, we'll see you next time on Colonial News Now.
Today we will wrap up the show by talking about military outfits, do's, and don'ts. The British soldiers had red coats, white shirts, pants, and boots. Their outfits were good for both summer and winter and helped them look official on the battlefields. The American soldiers didn't have uniforms because they're made up of militiamen. They wore whatever shirt they had, pants possibly with holes, and maybe just one shoe because the other one got lost in battles. They did not look very official. See you next time on Colonial News Now.
That's our show for today.
See you again next time on
Colonial News Now.